Let's do it.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Number 61 of the Roses and Rhetoric podcast. Joining me, as always, my charming co-host.
Joseph Stanford.
And behind us, as last time, a little bit of Grand Theft Auto. San Andreas, spreading the family values that our show has become renowned for. Do you remember? Do you remember the first time you heard about Grand Theft Auto when you were younger?
Yeah, I think I must have been in I don't know, 5th grade maybe. I
Sounds
just remember all my friends would play it. I was never allowed to have it or play it, but my friends would just have sleepovers and always play it. So I don't think I played it until 7th grade for the first time.
Yeah, that was a game that I was pretty much allowed to play whatever video games I wanted. But I remember one time my dad told me, he's like, they're reading about this game, Grand Theft Auto, and I really don't want you guys playing it. And I thought to myself, well, we already own it. So
we already own it and have beaten it.
Yeah, I've already played it. I already own it. And I've already done all the bad things in it that you don't want us to be doing. So it is hard to be a parent in the age of the internet. That's what I've come to realize. There's really nothing to be done about it.
You could be like Ben Shapiro. I was listening to a podcast with him yesterday, and he said that his kids aren't allowed to have internet until age 18.
I think even 18 seems a little young to me. I don't even know if I should have internet. Look at what we're doing. We're doing this fucking thing. This isn't good for anybody. Yeah, I think the problem is, I don't know, what worries you more thinking about young people? The access to any and all things related to genitalia, or the ability to record yourself? Which one do you think is a worse thing for a kid to be faced with?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah, it's like what's worse? Your kid being exposed to the horrific world of hardcore underworld German pornography, or them having a record of them recording all their dumb ideas on the internet? What do you think is worse?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because for us, the dumb ideas didn't start getting recorded to the internet until at least we were a little bit older. The technology just wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we still have the impulse to record our dumb ideas, hence why we have the podcast, but at least we have a little bit of sense about it. I mean, did you remember how stupid you were when you were 14 years old?
I think I remember. I could bring back the Facebook and take
because I remember this is I don't know what's in vogue these days for kids when they have profile pictures or not, but do you remember there was maybe a 4-year window? Not 4 is too long, maybe a 2.5-year window where it was really popular, I think especially for boys, to have your profile picture be not of you smiling, but of another gesture. It would kind of
Okay, so for those listening, Jim's making a very a stone cold, non-expressive, blasé type look, I would say.
Kind of like this. Keep on describing for our viewers.
He's making the same look, but he's making a up and to the left gesture. Now he's looking down, eyebrows slightly raised.
Something like
puppy
that.
eyes.
I think there was probably around a 2-year period where that was really in vogue. And if anybody wants to go on a mission and find my old MySpace page, I was doing that face. That's how I know it was in style, because I was too stupid to know what was in style. I wasn't going to be leading any trend. I wasn't going to be the avant-garde of MySpace pictures. I was just doing whatever everyone else is doing. And I remember thinking, in 8th grade football, we were told not to smile by other players. The coaches didn't give a shit, but the other players don't smile in your picture. Don't, you'll look stupid.
Yeah, you look soft to the other team.
Right. Well, what really looks stupid in a picture? When you're not smiling. That's when you really look fucking stupid. Is when you're just kind of an 8th grader being squinting.
Yeah, that's the squinting flat smile emoji.
Can you imagine how fucking unintimidating anybody in the 8th grade is? I mean, what a stupid idea of let's look tough by looking like we're having a horrible time, which is basically what
Yeah.
the motto was.
Well, along those lines, I remember for our high school looking through like the football catalog that has like all the players and like their heights and weights. And it's like every single person, they over exaggerated by at least 3 or 4 inches and about 30 to 40 pounds on their height and weight. And I think it was just to intimidate other teams that looked at it. Like the
Really,
players
in
didn't
order to
even,
make you not feel like you're like a small weak pussy, which
yeah,
I was, and in many ways I
yeah,
still am.
they didn't even submit their heights and weights. They just, I think the coaches just like kind of eyeballed them and said, okay, we're gonna say this kid is this
Yeah,
5'6" kid is actually 5'10", 280 or
yeah.
something.
This is your weight on Jupiter. It's
Yeah,
basically what they were telling you. How much? What? This is my weight. Well, on what planet do I weigh that much? You fucking idiot. You
yeah.
fucking Jupiter.
It's your height with heels and your weight on Jupiter is what
Yeah,
we're
it's height with
representing.
heels. Height with heels sounds like that could be a good podcast name. We just heard a new one. Joe and I, people wonder where the name comes from. Roses and Rhetoric. Well, let me tell you where the name comes from. Nothing deep, nothing inspiring. Joe called me on the phone, asked for a name, and I like alliteration, and hence Roses and Rhetoric. And I think Height with Heels could be a good like indie rock name.
Height with heels.
Height
Yeah, or
with
yeah, a
Heels.
DJ name or like a producer or something.
Yeah. You know what I finally realized after listening to a rap song over and over again? You know how sometimes there's like a word, like it'll be like, well, I was listening to Mac Miller, who I like, R.I.P. And he
Right.
has a song with, I guess his beat maker name is Diplo or something. And I didn't know for the longest time, but the song began and it'd be like Diplo, and I was like, what is that person saying? And I realized it's the beat maker. They put their names in there sometimes.
Yeah, a little signature.
So
A little audible.
if you're ever hearing random words in songs, it's someone's name. But I didn't realize until literally like a month ago. Because I
Yeah.
think about Height and Heels, I think that'd be a good DJ name. Oh,
Yeah, I
your
think
friend just died playing on the screen behind you.
yeah, that didn't look pretty. That
That's nice.
looked not so great.
Really, really celebrating the sanctity of life here on the Roses and Rhetoric podcast. As we celebrate Roses and Rhetoric, watching GTA 4. Yeah, it was really a great game, and I remember playing it in secret with my parents. Didn't want me to have it, and then they bought it for me. And
Even though they bought it for you.
well, I just remember really like the impossible task of being a parent and trying to know, like my parents would ask me, oh, what's this video game about? And I would just make things up like, oh, it's fighting, it's fine, don't worry about it. And
Well, you just say it's a racing game.
yeah, it's a racing
I
game.
gotta say.
Next thing you know, you're playing Resident Evil 4 and some guy's cutting you in half with a chainsaw or something. So it was all good times, Joe. It was
That
all
sounds
good
about right.
times. That was probably the only good game on GameCube. But I digress. No, I was sitting in my room today in my study of sorts, and I was thinking about my New Year's resolutions. That's what I wanted to talk to you about today.
Oh, okay.
So
Did you get them? You got them all down?
yeah, I did. I made a list.
Okay.
I'm checking it twice.
I thought we weren't doing New Year's resolutions till next week, but we can go over yours.
Well, I was thinking next week might be, every time we do this, I have less and less preparation for the show as my motivation slowly dies over. No. But for people who are really curious, the format of the show will be changing somewhat quickly. Or I'll probably go to a every other week appearance, and we have another surprise that we'll probably wait a little bit longer to announce, but that'll kind of be the evolution of the show. And I want to get back to writing, Joe. That's really what I want to get back to. We used to be really good with our writing segments. We're doing our writing homework, writing our essays. Got a little away from it, and that's the reason I really want to go back to the every other week format, is to get back in the habit of writing. And I was thinking about writing, and I was going to ask you, over the course of doing this podcast now for about a year, we've done writing for a good amount of it. Do you get a sense that your writing has improved from doing this?
Well, so that's a tough question because yes and no. I would say that yes.
Good. Yes and no. And we're moving on to the next question. Do you think you're speaking as a person?
I would say that my writing has definitely improved, but not from my writing for what appears on the website or what's been submitted through the Roses and Rhetoric. Mainly because like that's just a small fraction of what's been written. But yeah, repetition, any continuous repetition of writing, I think is going to make a difference for anyone in
I
terms
think
of writing, in terms of thinking, in terms of everything.
I think so as well. And I don't know if I remember if I brought this up on the show or not, but I was listening to a kind of a philosophy of teaching person, and they were saying that, you know, they thought every class should have a writing component to it because writing forces you to put your ideas in some kind of coherent structure. That writing shouldn't
Hmm.
be considered its own subject, but like every subject should have writing in it in order to force students to kind of organize their thoughts around whatever it is that they're learning about. And that kind of makes sense because every subject has a textbook, which had to be written, which has to present information in a coherent, consistent format, you know, to teach whatever they're trying to get across. So I
Hmm.
thought that was interesting. Oh, you just died again. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing as well. And I was thinking about my writing, and I want to get back to it because I thought I really had a good time doing that, and you know, that'll be a perk as we kind of
Yeah, and
progress with the new show format.
for writing, I think it's something hard to learn. Like you can obviously learn the grammar and I don't know, sentence structure and all that, but I think like good writing is pretty subjective, to be honest. Like I don't know if there's any real good objective way to do it. Like I mean, obviously there's things like grammar and stuff like I mentioned that are important so that you can understand it, but as long as it's understandable, like I think there's a lot of liberty that the author has in terms of how they write. I know a lot of people say to make it simple, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just something that you get better at practice. It's not really something that being taught to you. In other words, it's something that you kind of have to refine on your own through practice.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest thing is if you're writing something, is always to be seeking feedback on it and make sure that, you know, because I would say probably the highest praise a writer can receive is that they're clear. You know, clarity is probably the highest praise, I would think. Maybe if you're
Oh
a
yeah,
poet, it's the opposite, but anybody writing for comprehension, I think, is you know, if you can hand it to a stranger, they can read it and understand it. I think that's pretty good. Um,
hmm
but I agree with you. I think words like simple, it's like hard to really say what's simple in writing. I mean, is it the fewest number of words? Is it? I mean, because you know, what if you use? Is it better to use a bunch of small words or a few big words? I mean, it seems there's different
right.
paths to that goal, and yeah, I think it's definitely a good skill to have and one that you probably improve over life. What are those skills from Scott Adams you can always be improving on, like psychology, writing, like a few other ones,
Oh,
but
persuasion.
persuasion, obviously, but yeah,
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 probably communication, which is really the same as writing
yeah.
and
So anyway,
persuasion.
so that'll be something I will probably start next week. But I'm going to try to have a written piece for next week. I have a couple ideas on the whiteboard that I turn around behind me before we record. I don't want to give away any spoilers for the
Ooh,
show, but
the
yeah, I'm
elusive whiteboard.
working on
I like
writing assignment, some homework.
I like that. We'll get some more writing for 2022. Also, speaking of which, doing the homework assignments.
Oh
Uh,
God, more homework.
nowadays, nowadays they have these services, these online services that you can just pay them and they'll write your paper, like $20 a page or something, and they'll
Yeah,
just
I think
write
I
anything.
retweeted that from David Deutsch or something on our Twitter.
Uh, So killer, like I know one is like killerpapers.com. So maybe
Killer paper.
maybe
Not,
maybe
not a very not a very inviting name for.
maybe that'd be funny. Maybe I'll like contract out Killer Papers to write our next piece. Write
Yeah,
out our next script.
no, I think what I read from David Deutsch, I don't remember what the whole thing was, but somebody sent a tweet out saying that, you know, a bunch of students. I'm paraphrasing. I don't think I have it quite right, but it'll get the point across either way. It was like a bunch of students were found either having using those like writing services or like they had copied a paper or whatever it was, and I thought the commentary from David Deutsch was interesting. He said, you know, isn't it a real shame that we're forcing kids to write things they don't want to write about? Like, I mean, that
Oh
that
right.
that, that seems the bigger sin here. You know, than kids cheating on homework is, you know, why are we giving kids these tasks that are boring and they don't want to do? And as always, I find David Deutsch insightful, and I thought that was interesting as well. I mean, basically, I think I think those writing services that they exist just further shows the gamification of, basically, school is just this thing that you kind of, it's like this puzzle that you figure out, like, I'm going to get through it, and I can cheat and do this or that. And, I don't think we're really, if school is just a thing that people get through, then I think obviously the mission of education is failing, because the people don't want to be there, and they're just, doing
Yeah,
whatever to get through the day. And
I
I
mean
think,
that's absolutely how I felt.
yeah,
It's just something to get through, right?
yeah, something to get through. It's a stepping stone. You're there because you have to. And I know I've mentioned this before on the show too, but I mean, David's approach to education is that from what I've read, and from what I understand about what he said about it, is that it should be very voluntary. That kids should have much more say in what they're learning about, what they're what they're forced to learn should be very minimal, and there should just be more freedom in how kids are approach things. And I mean, I wonder about that. I wonder if that would work. I mean, that certainly seems, certainly is how I would like to think, that there is. I think people generally have a curiosity about things, and about how the world works, and about, nature and everything else. I mean, I think that's fairly innate. I think
At
most,
least everyone has a curiosity about something.
yeah, about something. Like most kids are not, show me the 5-year-old who is just, gassed out on life. They've popped open their diaper. They're kind of sitting there on their recliner chair, sipping a bottle, and I show me that baby. I think usually they're out, trying to explore and get in trouble, and figure things out. I don't know many kids that are just content to kind of, sit on the porch and smoke a cigar and watch the days pass by. Maybe a few, but not many.
And again, it's just like feeding into the system of of this horrible system that we've all just kind of accepted, of where you're in school, you're supposed to pick a major at 18, which determines the rest of your life. Like, pick a career path, go down that career path, graduate with a bunch of student loans, pay it off, like be in the red essentially until like your 30s or 40s, and then finally start going into the positive range of money. And it's I think that it's a horrible system. It's just ruining things. Like, college loans are the only loans that you can't default on, that you can't like declare bankruptcy and get out of. So you're on the hook, like, no matter what. And we're just like forcing all these kids into it. And I'm glad I didn't fall victim to the student loan scam, but I know a lot of people that have, and I'm sure you do as well. But again, like you said, it really needs just someone to step back and look at the system as a whole. And like, I think it's time to like revamp it a little bit. And I think people are taking that seriously now, that with COVID and
Yeah.
with like school closures and everything. Like, I've just record amounts of people going the homeschool route and
Well,
other
and
avenues
also,
there.
I would just say, be not thinking of education as a thing that has to happen at a particular place at a particular time, but online learning, online courses, all that stuff, I imagine, is only more common now, or more popular now, or will become that way. And um, yeah, I think it's a shame, especially for young kids, that they spend a lot of days. Like, I just remember, like, even in grade school, just like being bored. Like, I just think that that's a shame that kids spend so much time being bored. It's like, my God, like, it's the one time in your life where you have no responsibility, and like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm being bored 8 hours a day.
I've spent countless hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours just fighting back sleep. That's
Yeah,
what my college and high school experience was,
yeah.
of being in class. Just trying not to fall asleep. Oh,
Try not to fall asleep, or like
trying not to get caught falling.
hoping it was a movie day. That was like the big, like, that, like, going back to grade, like, even in high school, honestly, movie days were great. But what's the best thing that can happen in today's subject, that we don't get to it? Like, that's the victory. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Like, what do you hope happens today when you're in, history class? That we watch a movie instead. Like, wow, like, that's quite a
but
failure,
the
I think.
movies weren't even that good back then. Like, those low budget documentaries that we'd have to watch, like, they weren't even
Oh
that good.
yeah.
But we get so excited over it. Like, what? Why?
So what were we watching? Yeah, no, that is true. I just remember the costumes always being outrageous, and they were always dressed up in the Renaissance period or something. But yeah, just think like you're waiting, like you're hoping you're hoping that you don't get to the material. Like that's what your biggest hope for.
Yeah.
Doesn't bode well.
Speaking of speaking of documentaries, have you seen the Beatles documentary on Disney Plus yet?
No, everyone's talking. I've had multiple people tell it to me. I think people think I'm joking. Like I don't watch the news, so people call me like, "Oh, did you hear about this?" Like I haven't heard about that. But my wife told me about it, and I think my brother did as well. And I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but my brother is. And at one point, he bought all their albums and put it on our computer at home, and it slowed it down to a snail's pace. And I put them all on my iPod, and I listened to it. And now I know I have a fair amount of knowledge about the Beatles songs. But what makes this documentary different than the other ones?
Well, there's no narrator for it. It's just so I didn't pick up the whole backstory of it, but it's something like they kind of like had broken up. They were kind of washed out a little bit from their main famedom, and like they hadn't done a live performance in like 2 years or something. So they had some deal set up where they were going to all sit down in a room and then just make an album, like make a 14-track album or so, and then perform it live at the end. And then the whole process of them recording it and planning all this and like getting it all put together was going to be recorded by filmmakers. So there's just like constantly like film being shot through the whole process. And what the documentary is it's that film of this, just them sitting there, like Paul McCartney just playing the guitar, like pulling these music and lyrics out of like thin air and just like playing it, and them just like coming up with some of like their best songs, like Let It Be or like Get Back or like all these other just like famous songs. And then there's all this like drama, they're always like fighting and like bitching at each other. Like Yoko Ono's like ominously just like standing in the corner in every scene.
Mm.
And then it's good because it's like pretty unfiltered, and you just like get to see like what they were like in real life, and just like what this genius creative process that was so influential through so many decades like looks like up front. And it's like there's 196 hours of footage. I think they like summed it down into 3 parts, so it's only like it's 3 parts. Each one's like an hour and a half or 2 hours long.
Man, that's as many parts as the latest Hobbit movie.
Yeah, are we all done with those? But no, it's real good, especially if you know anything about music, because I don't know, it's just like watching them make music, and it's
When
like
you
pretty technical.
when you were younger and you would watch people play the guitar like rock stars and everything, I just assumed that they weren't even playing notes. I thought they were just banging around,
Like
they're
no
playing
forethought.
notes. Like they're playing notes. Like that was a joke in the wonderful movie with Lindsay Lohan and I forget the other person's name, Freaky Friday, where like she goes on stage and like so the mom and daughter switch places.
Oh,
This
Jamie
is
Lee Curtis.
now to be clear, I'm talking about Freaky Friday and not the disturbing underground hardcore German porn that I was talking about earlier. And here the mom and daughter swap places, and the mom's about to go on stage on her daughter's rock band. They're like telling her like, "Oh, we're doing this new chord progression." She's like, "You guys actually play notes? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?" And I always just thought that was they weren't even playing notes, but they are.
Yeah, apparently there's like a lot of forethought. Like a lot of notes apparently don't go well with each other, so you have to like plan them out, space them out right and stuff.
That's God to do that and to think of lyrics.
Yeah, it's and to make it good. Like
Yeah,
anyone
to
can
make
do
it good.
lyrics, but to make it good, like super popular. So that's why it's good to watch, because it's just like it's just amazing how they do it.
What was so what time in their career was this?
This was 1969, so they were all like late 20s.
So what was the album that they were making called?
I think it's the Let It Be album,
Let
which
It
is
Be.
like one of the later ones. It was after like Sgt. Pepper's, like after all the main bangers, if you will.
Yeah. Well, my brother, and this is a true story. My brother and I, when we were growing up, as I mentioned before, he was a big Beatles fan, and he also had an alarm clock, and you could put a CD in the alarm clock, and the alarm would play a song that you'd pick for it. Let me tell you something. If you want to ruin a song forever, wake up to it. Take care of that song real quick. If you're like, I like this song too much, how do I ruin that forever? Set it for your alarm. And then set that alarm very early.
Every
my
day.
brother and I had this stupid yellow Hummer alarm clock that you would put a CD in. Yeah, the one you probably saw like the J.C. Penney's and buy the fucking Swiss Army knives and the old, pajamas that are, Batman pajamas and everything. That's where we got this Hummer clock from. And we, unknowing to us, we would my brother put a Beatles album and song just to play it over the speaker of the Hummer, because it was also this would play music on. It was a beatbox, whatever they call it, fucking things. Accidentally, he said the alarm. The Paperback Writer, which is a song by the Beatles. And to this day, when I hear that chord progression, I jump out of my fucking seat and I have a panic attack because I think I'm going to be late for school. So if you like music, don't set it for your alarm.
Oh, how does that song go? I've never heard that song before.
It's a song about a person who wants to be a paperback writer, which I'm assuming just is what it says, is like paperback books or something. And it's a song about how he's going to go out and become a paperback writer. And it's the Beatles had some weird songs like I'm the Walrus and all that weird shit.
Yeah, none of them make sense.
Songs, the songs that basically don't make any sense at all. And then they had songs like this, and you're like, this is the same band. The same band that was talking about being a walrus is also talking about being a novelist. It's the same people.
Yeah, it's prolific.
Like I think I'm being clever when I figure out a way to not have to mix, or I think I'm being clever when I decide to risk washing my whites and colors in the same load of laundry. Like, to me, that's my, like, I'm gonna be creative and I'm gonna ruin my white shirt. Yeah. That's me being
I just call them grays. I don't have a colored laundry and I don't have a whites. I just have grays.
Yeah, no, the shirt is not nearly as white as it was when I put it in there. And to me, that was being creative. Well, I says I have good, lighting finally. But the Beatles had thought, what would really be creative? If we wrote songs about being novelists and about being walruses. And then they became very famous.
Yeah, like I don't think a lot of people understand today that they were literally the most famous people of all time. Like during that time is what I'm saying. Like
more if Jesus came back,
yes,
for the second coming, he'd say, "Hey, are the Beatles still around? Because I gotta get an autograph."
Because that's what got him a lot of shit, is because they said they were bigger than Jesus at one point.
Oh, did they?
Everyone kind of freaked out. Yeah, everyone freaked out at him.
And then there was another coming, and just like, now they are bigger than me, and they're really good. You have to check them out.
Yeah, like there was nobody bigger at the time. Like I don't even know who the equivalent would be nowadays, because no one stands out to that extent.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah, who would be the Beatles of today? Interesting question. You listen to enough modern rock music to know big names?
No one even approaches. Like I couldn't even think of a band. Like Chili Peppers, U2 are pretty big ones. I think the Rolling Stones are still kind of performing.
Oh, U2 is another one of those songs that always, there was my coworker had the U2 edition of the iPhone or something like that, and they came with preloaded.
No, every iPhone came preloaded with it. Yeah.
Oh, everyone. Yeah. So it would come onto the car and it'd be like the fucking U2, and it'd be like, God, this song.
It was the worst album ever. It was awful.
Oh, God, it comes on, you start the car, you think you're being held up. Fucking crazy music. Yeah, my brother's a big Beatles fan. I wonder how he liked it. Did you watch the whole thing, all 3 parts?
I'm about halfway through.
You stopped the part halfway?
Yeah, I'm a part and a half through it.
Oh, hopefully.
Because it's not I don't know.
It's kind of it's no narrator. It's just them just banging around.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sort some subtitles that kind of just fill in missing information and give you context things. But yeah, there's no narrator. It's all just raw footage from their recording session. So it's good. You should check it out.
What channel is it on?
Disney
Plus?
Disney Plus. I know you got it.
I don't have Disney Plus.
You got Disney Plus, Jim.
I don't. Maybe I have Peacock.
You got to log in. You can figure it out.
I have Peacock. I have Peacock and Netflix.
I think Disney Plus is the same as like ESPN too. I mean, not ESPN 2, but ESPN as well. It's some weird conglomeration.
Oh my gosh.
Does Disney own ESPN? Is that what the deal is?
I think Disney owns Halliburton, and Halliburton owns ESPN.
Doesn't Dick Cheney own Halliburton?
Yeah, I'm being funny. It's a joke. It's a joke from 30 Rock, which I watched as I watched Peacock.
Oh yeah, that's the one with Alec Baldwin, right?
Yeah, it is. Tina Fey.
Is he gonna make it back?
Let's not judge. Let's not judge that poor guy. Can you imagine if you've never had a bad day at work like that guy had? Never.
Well, I know you don't watch the news, Jim. Are you up to speed on that?
I am. I feel terrible. Really, I feel horrible for him. I mean, I can't imagine a more traumatic thing than that happening.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to him, and I hope he is okay, and I hope the family of the bereaved is okay, and I just would a terrible accident, and yeah, it's just horrible.
He just had an interview, and he said that he didn't pull the trigger.
Just it went off in his hand. Was it a
you didn't really specify.
They call that like a misfire, maybe, or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was like some of the bullet. That's crazy.
I mean, my question is, why would you even have a real gun within 50 feet, within 500 feet of the set? Like, why would you even have a real gun?
I thought that they had all sorts of rules in place out, because of course, when this came out, everybody was reminded this is how Bruce Lee's son died, or something similar, his shooting accident on set. I don't know if it was the same situation, but yeah, he died on a shooting accident on set. So, yeah, I don't know.
Like, right, like
this is why you and I film remote. There's no way that you can accidentally shoot me from where you're at right now.
Well, these are well, that's true.
Yeah, this is the solutions. Have everything be remote, and then everything can be virtual. No,
yeah,
no, I don't want to talk about this too much. It really is a tragedy, and I really do feel bad for him. And it was a shame. And I am a Baldwin fan, and I'm a Tina Fey fan. I really did enjoy 30 Rock, but I saw that and I thought, oh my God, that's just terrible that happened.
Well, yeah, I wonder if he's gonna get charges pressed against him, if he's gonna get arrested. Like, it doesn't seem like it's going that way.
So, yeah, I don't know.
That's good for 30 Rock, for your Peacock experience.
Oh, well, that one's already over. They already finished the series.
Oh, okay.
It's already over.
I don't know what he's on now. He's on like SNL.
Well, I watched him in some show. You don't hear a fucked up. I watched this show that he was in called, what is it called, Dr. Death or something. This guy was not a very good neurosurgeon, and
that's ironic.
And he was operating on people, and he was like maiming and killing patients because he didn't know what he was doing. And Alec Baldwin was in that one. That was the last thing I saw him in.
Oh.
So he wasn't Dr. Death, by the way. He was another character, but he was in it.
He is now.
No, he's not. He's not a doctor.
He's not a real doctor.
He's not a real doctor, Joe. No, I feel bad for Alec. On the off chance he's one of our 7 viewers on this episode when we posted, Alec, I know that I'm a fan and I wish you well, and I hope that everything is okay. Yeah, safety first culture, people. That's the way to do it.
You need that trigger discipline.
Gotta treat every gun like it's loaded. Don't point at things you don't want to shoot. Finger off the trigger.
Yep.
Buy American. What are the other rules for guns, Joe?
Well, that's what I'm saying is we need a rule that says don't have it within 500 feet of a movie set unless you're part of the security detail.
Right.
I think that solves it. Like, it's just.
Oh, I think it would too. Like I said, my understanding is that there were rules put in place after Bruce Lee's son was shot, and as this comes out more, we'll have to see what that was like. But yeah, I mean, I only know about that because my dad told me about it years and years ago about Bruce Lee. I didn't know that he had a kid, and he had a kid. And he was an actor, and he got shot on a set. And yeah, it was a tragedy then, as it is.
Yeah,
Now.
Bruce Lee died super young too.
Yeah,
I
I
think
actually don't know. How did he die? Do you remember?
he had some like rare something or other happened to him. But I think he was like maybe in his 40s or something.
That's not very old.
Which is weird because he looks like the most like healthiest dude there is. Maybe it was drugs. Let's see.
Let's not speculate about the fall.
Oh, here we go.
How did he die?
So on July 20th, 1973, the actor and martial arts expert Bruce Lee dies in Hong Kong at age 32.
32.
From a brain edema possibly caused by a reaction to a prescription painkiller.
Oh my God. 32 years old?
Yeah, there you go.
God, I'm almost that old. It's
Better
crazy.
get off those painkillers, Jim.
I'm almost 30 years old. The only thing I put in my body that's bad for me is
CNN.
No, I wasn't gonna say. I thought I had a joke, but I don't. I eat pretty healthy. Not super healthy, but you know, not super unhealthy either. The normal diet, I guess.
I don't even know what that means. People say like healthy food, non-healthy food. Like I don't think we even know what healthy food is. You look
Honestly,
at like the food.
For me, the biggest thing is just
like,
remembering to take the wrappers off of food. To me, that's the most important part.
Just take the wrappers off.
Yeah, to me that's the healthy meal. As long as I properly unwrap it. Now, I'll tell you this: the other day, I got some off-brand Starburst from a grocery store, and I couldn't get the wrappers off of them sometimes, so I ended up eating some of the paper. Now that's probably not good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you take the Big Mac out of the box before you eat it,
yeah,
that's a step in the right direction.
Although you've seen me do the paper taco before.
What was paper taco?
When I put what's the paper taco? First of all, what does the name sound? Remember, I put the paper taco. When I put the rice in the paper plate and I folded it and I ate the plate. The paper taco.
I have vague recollection of this.
It was at our favorite Hawaiian barbecue place.
Yeah, if it was at Mama's Hawaiian Barbecue.
At our favorite Hawaiian barbecue place. We don't give names out without getting paid for it.
That's right.
No, it was a wonderful restaurant in Tucson called Mama's Hawaiian Barbecue. And anyways, every now and then I would just get a plate of rice and I put a little soy sauce on it. I just eat that. And then one day I thought I'm going to make a paper taco out of it, and I did. I used to do a lot of that physical comedy back in the day. I kind of got away from that as I got a little older, I guess.
Yeah, you think that there's any chance of that coming back? Or
I think so. I really hope so. I really had some good running gags there for a while, including sometimes gagging on things. I really had some good gags there, Joe.
Some good public displays. Do you ever have the urge to like keep those going? Like you ever at the grocery store and see like a wet floor sign and you're just tempted to go?
I one time pretended to slip on a wet floor in a restaurant. It was also at a Mama's Hawaiian Barbecue. And I would tell people at home, my feet were literally, I was perpendicular to the ground.
There's some footage, yeah.
Or parallel to the ground. I mean, my God, they could have been a stunt.
Your feet were above your head.
My feet were above my head. Oh, we should have said this one for episode number 69. But yeah, on the way down. It was really something.
It was great, and I remember the staff saw it, and they weren't concerned at all, if I remember correctly.
No. Which is fine.
I think we need to see some more of that. I think we need to do some Roses Rhetoric film shoots.
I used to really be good at that. So I had a real eye for how to embarrass myself. And now I just do this. Now I just record myself once a week. Put it on.
Yeah. I think that's what we got to do. We got to get you embarrassing yourself more in public and get that on film.
I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun, and I always had a great respect for people that were the great physical comedians, the Chris Farleys, if you will, of were always very funny people, and I really enjoyed doing that kind of stuff.
What does that mean, physical comedians? Just because he was like a big guy?
You're not like you're doing it with your body. Like you're falling to be funny, or
like yeah,
I
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
I just use
like
my
the silent movie thing.
Yeah.
The silent movie type humor then, from like back in the day when you didn't have
Silent
words.
movie. I like the silent movie. We should do a silent podcast. That would be our episode for next week. We'll just sit here quietly and watch your friend play Grand Theft Auto behind the screen. You remember
You
how
mean,
much work it was in this one because you had to like exercise and you could get fat if you didn't take care of yourself and you had to like ride a bike and all that stuff.
yeah, you have to go to the Cluckin' Bell every now and then, otherwise you like lose all your body fat and start eating your muscle.
Yeah,
What is that
so
kind of like
you really got to get your macros right in GTA 4 in order for the game to be enjoyable.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of people were like casting shade on this game. Like they got like really bad reviews. Like, okay, so my nephew was
GTA
like
4? Is this 4 or 5?
this is San Andreas.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Which is like a 3. Yeah. Okay, third
I think
generation.
it's after 3. I think it went 3, San
Yeah.
Andreas, and then it went 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Or
But it was
something like
on, I think it was on like PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I don't know what it was on, but I like had it over at home over Thanksgiving. I brought my Switch with me and I was playing it and my nephews were
Wait, your
my nephew like
Nintendo Switch?
yeah, my Nintendo Switch. Because it's like super portable. Right?
But you can download this game on Nintendo Switch?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is that it got reported with updated graphics from its original version to the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Along with GTA 3 and I think Vice City.
Yeah, I didn't like Vice City that much.
Well, I don't know. I'm
maybe
keep
I
an open
did.
mind about it.
I don't know if I liked. Maybe I did. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, long story short.
If I have any more comments, I'll keep on interrupting you.
Yeah, no, thanks. I expect nothing less. But my nephew refused to play it basically because he was like, "Oh, it got bad reviews." And he was like, "Oh, all the game developers were just like shitting on it, saying that they did a real bad job at porting it over from its original format to this new one because they used like a mobile game company to do so, and it's just kind of like glitchy and laggy at times. Like I don't know, you probably see some glitches. Like during a lot of the cinematics, you just
glitch. I just saw one behind you.
Yeah. So, and he's like, "Oh, it got real bad reviews," and I'm like, "No, it didn't get bad reviews because it's a bad game. The reviews." This game has already been proven to be one of the timeless classics, one of the best Grand Theft Autos out there, one of the best games of all time. Like you were reading a review on the process of porting it over from its original version to the Nintendo Switch, not this. And it's like, I don't know. I think this younger generation just doesn't understand.
Oh, yeah. The younger generation are a bunch of fucking dweebs. Wait, what are we talking about? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the younger generation. These people who think, TikTok is cool and everything. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which belongs to our generation, let's be clear about this. Belongs to that's our game. What game do they have?
Your parents bought it for you.
My parents bought it for me. I had to pre-order that game. I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto 4. But it's the same thing. I don't care. I'll make up a small lie for the story I'm telling now. We had to pre-order that game. You had to put $5 down to hold your copy at the store. I want to hear about something about how the porting process. When I was their age, I didn't even know what porting meant. I didn't know what those fucking words meant. I fucking knew to play the game. I wasn't learning about mobile companies porting shit over and they didn't do it right and everything. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Dude, this game is about killing innocent people. That's what this game is about. I want to hear about you complaining about the porting not being good enough.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about these nerd complaints.
God, they didn't get the frame rate right. They didn't get the right thing. No, my God. Can you still shoot people? Hey, look, they're doing it right now behind you. That person's probably.
Does the AK still work?
That person's probably innocent. That person's probably in it. Yeah, of course. God, these fucking nerds. These fucking nerds, Joe.
I don't know. What's going to become of this next generation?
Can you imagine? I tell you what ruined it for these kids is 3D movies. That just took out all the imagination. Back when I was their age, I had to imagine the third dimension. God damn it! Now they just give it to them. Joe, are you kidding me? What do they think when they watch a movie that's not 3D that they was in a fucking Paper Mario world? I mean, my God. When I was their age, if I wanted to imagine what was behind somebody, I had to use my brain. I couldn't just, hope that I would get a little glimpse of the curvature of the body by the 3D glasses.
I know they're
Don't you remember
spoiled.
that? Do you remember watching movies on just a screen, having to imagine the third dimension?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I'm doing it right now as well. God, unbelievable that these kids these days, they want their fucking these chairs, these D-box chairs that shakes them. When I was like, I had to imagine being shaken. I had to imagine being rumbled. I had to imagine what it was like to have a jetpack strapped to my ass and have to fucking. I had to imagine that, Joe.
Yeah,
These days are complaining about not having the port being right. What does it even mean? Who are they talking to?
we're getting picky. We're getting picky.
Unbelievable, these people. God. Back when I was a mobile game on my phone, you had Snake, Joe. You had Snake on your phone. That's how you played it. And you didn't have your own phone. You played Snake on your parents' cell phone and you murdered their battery. You destroyed their battery. What happened to my battery? It was fully charged. I played Snake and I didn't do very well because the keyboard sucked.
Right.
Or you somehow found out a way to get on to instant messenger on their cell phone and you burned through all your data.
Yeah, all 0.5 gigs per
0.5. And it would ask you, are you sure you want to connect to the internet? Are you positive you want to pay for this? Yes. Yes, I do want to pay for this. What's my password? I don't remember. Oh, it's okay. Your data's up anyways. Fine. So
yeah,
these days are annoying. They're fucking.
You remember when you had to pay by the text message? Like each text message was 10 cents.
10 cents, and then you just would be texting like you didn't even know what you were doing, and you were texting on a fucking number keyboard.
Right, the T9.
The T9. Yeah, that fucking thing. Just fucking hope that you wouldn't embarrass yourself. I remember bitch came out CHUBI. If you typed in bitch, it came up as that. Just people so they don't forget these things. But yeah, can you imagine the audacity of complaining about the port not being right? My God, that's terrible that they would do that.
They're getting soft.
I remember the first time that I had a usable cell phone, not the flip phone that was just a brick, but a usable cell phone was a BlackBerry. And I had a little trackpad on it. And the only game that I had on that BlackBerry was Brick Breaker.
Yeah.
I had Brick Breaker. I played Brick Breaker. And I wasn't good, Joe. I wasn't good.
You need more practice.
I needed to break more bricks. Speaking of Bruce Lee, may he rest in peace.
There you go. Well, I'm happy with the progression of phones, I would say. I was a little bit hesitant to see the T9 go away because it was so efficient. I mean, you can type way faster in T9 than you could on a keyboard, in my opinion, because there's less buttons and it's more predictive. But either way, I guess that it's a thing of the past. I digress.
Do you think anybody has a number pad plugged into their computer for
texting?
Imagine like typing out a whole essay on a phone pad. That'd be something.
I mean, I could see it. I could do that on T9.
Sure. I mean, David Deutsch, that would be a universal system. T9.
Have you seen these keyboards they have nowadays where like it's like 10 buttons, like 10 like control like joysticks, 10 joysticks, and depending on which direction you push the joystick for each finger, it does a letter. So like people can just type so freaking fast with these things.
Wait, what? Like every finger gets a joystick?
Every finger gets a joystick, and then you just like move them in different directions, and that's like different letters.
Back when I was a kid, only your thumbs got joysticks. What the hell is going on?
Right. And it's unreal. You can type 10 times faster than you can with the keyboard.
So every direction would have to get 2 letters, and however many more would have like 4.
You can do 4 letters.
I think 40.
Yeah, but you got all your punctuation.
Oh my God.
And numbers.
Jesus.
Actually, that'd be perfect. Yeah, just the numbers and the letters would get you pretty close to 40.
Yeah, and you have enough for a period, question mark,
Spacebar.
space. Oh yeah, you need the fucking space. All right. Jesus Christ. I'm still using the fucking
QWERTY.
QWERTY, thank you.
You're still in the QWERTY game?
I'm still on
There's
the
actually a new
QWERTY game.
keyboard called like have you heard like the Dvorak keyboard?
No.
Sorry. No, it's a real keyboard, but it's just like
Is that the real name?
yeah, the letters are just laid out differently,
Oh,
but it's more efficient because I guess the way this keyboard's set up, it's like statistically one hand gets more strikes than the other, and this is just like more balanced for like the English language or something.
You remember how to write cursive?
Oh yeah, I write cursive all day.
Did we talk about cursive last time? Remember that I said how you can't make a cursive G, it's so fucking hard, and you said you had a hard time with Z.
Yeah, I do have a hard time with Z's. Yeah.
Which one is that one?
The cursive Z.
I'll describe it to the audience
I don't know how to do it. I can't. It's like some.
What's the lowercase? Well, no, yeah, the lowercase one's like this one. Right?
Yeah. But
But
it just looks,
is the capital harder?
I think it's the same but bigger. But even the lowercase, it's hard because that shape, it looks like a lot of different things. It could be like a Y, it could be N, it could be a J, like a J,
it's hard to read is what you're talking about, not hard to write. Hard to read.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, all cursive is hard to read, but that's like especially hard. And I just don't really know what I'm doing. Like there's it's like a scribble, but
well, that's most cursive is that. Yeah, I remember I had a teacher one time told me, when you get to college, if you're not taking your notes in a certain way, they're going to kick you out of class. Let me clue the audience in. Nobody in college will give a single rat fuck if you're taking notes in your class. So if your teachers tell you that, they're lying. It's not true. Not true at all. And they damn sure will not care what format you're using. So don't worry about that either. That is not a thing. But I was also taught in grade school that in high school, I would have to use cursive to take notes. That is also not true. That is also a lie.
Well, I actually like cursive because similar to the Dvorak keyboard,
it's more efficient.
Yeah, you can fly through it. You can be faster.
The only thing I don't like about it is how they gave the M and the N an extra bump.
What do you mean? The M and the N have an extra bump in regular writing too.
No, but I mean, like they have an N, like in cursive, just have the NB1 and the MB2.
The NB1 and the NB2?
Because right now in cursive, N is 2 and M is 3.
It's 3 humps?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like just keep with the singular hump. Like in lowercase n is 1 hump.
Yeah, okay.
But in cursive, it's 2 humps.
In cursive, it's 2 humps?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. In cursive, it's 3 humps. 1, 2, 3.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure. I'm Googling it. Cursive.
Yeah, my producer's saying you're right, but I'm still dissent.
Have you been writing your M's? Yeah, look, it's 1, 2, 3. I'm looking at it right now.
Let me see. Show your screen.
No, I can't. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to.
Okay, I'm gonna draw an N.
The lighting on that port looks wonderful. Yeah, that's not right. That's a script N. That's not cursive. Have you been writing cursive wrong your whole life? Have you been doing Dvorak cursive? Yeah, the one that you just drew on the right is a cursive N.
No,
that's 2 humps.
No, wait, that is not a cursive N.
Google it right now. You're by a computer. I know because I'm talking to you on one.
Look, that's not a cursive M.
I'm saying the number of humps. I mean, well, yeah, wait, that's just a normal M. Cursive is 3.
No, this isn't real.
Yeah, it is. Google it right now. It is real.
You and my producer are wrong.
Your producer who's currently committing an act of genocide on the TV behind you.
Okay. My producer has just drawn 2 scribbles on this paper.
Yeah, see, that's what, right. See, that one is N, that one's M, so it's extra hump.
No, but that's not. No. Look.
This is a real life example of cognitive dissonance coming.
If I write the word no, it looks like that, right?
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, that's incorrect.
It says here.
That's how. Yeah. No, don't write it that way.
Let me see. I need to see what there's something's not adding up to me here. What did you type in? Cursive N?
What did I type? I typed in hardcore German pornography, and the first thing that came up on Google was a cursive N.
Yeah, dude, this isn't like a hump. This is like a leader, like a.
Oh, everybody, let's get on our protractors and measure it. My point is that it still has 3.
I don't know. It's not like a full one. It's like a half a. It's a representation of the letter behind it is what it is coming into it.
Yeah, but it still has 3 because you still have one more than the N.
I need a visual representation.
Type in cursive for the word. No, don't do money because doesn't O have the weird like overhang? Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Cursive money. I like that. Let's see what it shows.
Well, you're gonna have the weird end. You're gonna have the weird O. I mean, you'll still see the 2 humps on the end, so it's okay.
Okay, I got it up, but
yeah. Oh, no, you won't because it'll be one of them will be the thing from the O. Never mind.
Yeah, no, this is bad cursive. I don't know what's getting shown here. Cursive.
Type in Dvorak cursive and see if anyone's figured this out.
Let's see. I'm gonna share my screen.
All right.
This could be a bad idea.
Just make sure you can't see your recently searched or your frequent websites.
Oh, I live in incognito, so don't worry about that. This might be the first time that I've shared a screen on this podcast. I don't even know if I know how to do it.
First, just because I gotta go soon. We'll end on this note. Get it?
Okay.
We'll end on this letter.
On this note. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, I typed in cursive money.
Wait, can I see it? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Money written in cursive. Okay. Here's a good example. So we agree that this is the right way to write the word money.
Let's see it.
Can you see it here on the right hand side?
Can't see it. You're not sharing your screen.
I'm not sharing my screen?
Oh, I'm not recording this episode. I'm kidding. But I really can't see your screen.
Oh, wait, it says host screen. Disabled participant screen.
Let me see. I don't want to give you that much power. Sure.
Come on, Gino. I thought this is
I'm giving it to you. It's just hard to let go. It's hard to let go when you've held it on for so long. All right, make host. All right, you should be the host now. Try sharing it again.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so right here on the right-hand side, this says money.
Yeah, right. So
I count 2 humps on the M.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because this isn't really a hump. This is like
right.
And then I count one.
But this is a cursive, but this is a capital letter.
Okay. And then but I count 1 hump on the N. And I see
but like I was saying, the O has that little overarch thing. Remember the O? It doesn't come down first.
How about this one? What does this say?
Yeah, that says I'm going back to school. Yeah. I like how you typed in money and it gives you cash. It's like close.
Oh, that's funny. That's some algorithm stuff. Like, look at this. MON. Yeah. This is an N. This is exactly what I did.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say the O has the overhang thing. I think does R have that too? You know what looks really funny in cursive? O next to R. That's what I'm thinking of. Type in that. Type in cursive or. Yeah. See if it comes up. See that fucking dumbass fucking. Look at how stupid that looks.
Look how high up that R goes.
God damn! Look at that stupid thing. Because that one right there gives it the weird little thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we've sufficiently punished our audio only listeners.
Yeah. What we're doing is we're typing in cursive letters. All right, I do have to go.
All right, Jim, we'll close it out, man. Waiting on
Oh,
you.
I can't. You're the host now. I
I'm
gave
the
you all that power.
Okay, hold on.
Give it back to me.
I don't know.
Samwise Gamgee.
I don't know what to do. Stop sharing.
Remember how he took the ring from Federer for a little bit? That was fucked up.
Yeah, I was messed up. Okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Do you have your privileges you need?
Yeah, I have my privileges. God, look at all this power that I had, this powerful toolbar down here.
Are we still recording?
Of course we're still recording. God, look at all this. I can drag my screen around. God.
I can't see it.
Well, that's because I'm not doing it yet. All right, that was a lot of fun. What did we talk about today? The Beatles in cursive?
Something like that.
God, what a weird episode we did today. I'm really glad that we're preparing our hardest for all of these.
Hey, we have
Only the best for our audience.
We have multimedia.
Okay. Yeah, there's a good chance I won't be on next week, but we'll touch base during the week. And now we can have your friend currently committing acts of terrorism on the television going in for us. Yeah. Why don't you guys find a more wholesome, family, fun game to play?
I don't know. That's
because they're not fun. That's the why. That's the reason why.
Yeah, because family or it can be fun.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Joe. Let's close out this episode. Let's apologize to our viewers for what we talked about today. No, I'm kidding.
And our listeners for what they didn't see today.
This was a fun episode, Joe. I like when we do these kind.
Yeah, I mean they're the easiest to prepare for.
Easiest to prepare for. No, I like how you do the cursive. I'm willing to admit that you're right there.
Now I just have to convince my producer.
We'll take a look at it in closer detail next week on our exclusively cursive only episode, where Joe and I will be writing out words in cursive for the audience to judge who has. Oh, I know. I was going to tell you. I saw the neatest handwriting in my entire life this week.
Really?
It was flawless. I mean, it was just
beautiful. It was a girl's handwriting.
No, it was a guy. It was a guy. Seriously, it was beautiful. I mean, this thing you could have like held up your phone and it would have recognized it as text. It was incredible. I don't have that kind of handwriting.
Well, you just got to practice. You can get there.
Yeah, I know I could get there. I'm just saying I don't have.
Lay off the caffeine, get rid of the shakes, and then you get that steady hand, and then you got it.
Yeah, having good handwriting is probably a decent skill to have.
Well, it always helps to be able to read what you write.
Yeah, right. So. Remember what we said, Joe? Look at us coming back full circle. Write for clarity.
Perfect.
Write for clarity.
And on that note.
Yeah, no, this was a fun episode, everybody. We appreciate you joining us. And we'll talk next time. Follow us on Twitter. And Joe too. Jose 4_, Instagram, Twitter. Us, Roses 1_ Rhetoric. Instagram, Twitter. We're also on YouTube. And our website, www.rosesandrhetoric.com.
Ciao.
Yeah. And